It used to be that you could not build an online business as like a solo female entrepreneur without a website, funnel, email list, landing page, course platform, payment processor. And I don't know about you, I was a marketing director for years and I still hated doing all of those things. But now the new way is literally just as simple as setting up a Skool community. It's so simple. And it's been a minute since I've done a video like this. And so what I've done is I've created a checklist of exactly how you can set up your soul aligned spiritual Skool community step by step. You could do this in less than 7 days. You could do this in like a day or two if you really wanted to, from scratch. So without further ado, let's dive in. First of all, if you're new here, my name is Amanda. I run Spiritual Business School, where I help spiritual entrepreneurs leverage their human design, school, and some Kabbalistic Kabbalah to 3 times their leads in 30 days and ultimately build a 6-figure business that feels as good as it looks. It's not all about the money, but money is a natural byproduct of value created for someone other than yourself. And every single minute you spend overthinking, tweaking, going in ChatGPT rabbit hole circles on the back end of your business that's not spent getting in front of the right people is another minute that someone who's way dumber than you, who cares way less than you, who's way less as passionate, is taking action, seeing results, and ultimately making bank. And maybe or maybe not, maybe they're helping people, maybe they're not. But my guess is that you really do care because you're watching this, you're passionate about what you do, you've achieved a valuable outcome for yourself or for your clients, and now you're ready to set something up in a sustainable, simple, scalable, sexy as fuck manner. So let's do it. Before we dive into actually setting up the community, we have a couple really quick decisions to make. The first decision is, are we going to use the hobby plan or the pro plan? You have 2 different options. Hobby is $9 a month. Pro is $99 a month. On the hobby plan, they take 10% of any of the payments that you process through Skool, and I'll tell you why that's significant later on. But on the pro plan, they only take 2.9%, which is lower. It's the lowest in the industry. The reason I chose pro personally is because I just wanted the custom URL. So that's how I have skool.com/Amanda, because I believe that these websites are going to be as valuable, if not more than, remember back in the day, if you got a website, it was like, happy.com. You didn't even have to use the site and you could probably sell it for 10, 20, 30, I don't know, $1,000. I literally had a friend who did this. If you got a really short URL, it's a huge asset. So I liked it for that reason, and the lower, them only taking 2.9%. And it actually does make your life significantly easier to process all of your payments through Skool. I'll get into that a little bit more and the reasons why when we talk about your offer and the monetization strategy. But basically, you don't want to be taking payments for an offer on another platform and then managing it in Skool, because now that's an extra step of layer of operational complexity. If this person doesn't pay, are you going to find out? How are you going to kick them out? It makes things easier. So that's your first step, hobby or pro. The second thing you want to decide on is your monetization strategy. And it is important to know this from the beginning. You have 4 different options as far as I can see. I've tried them all. My favorite by far is the option 4, which is a freemium community, but let's go through them step by step. So the first one is you could just have a free community. This means it would be like a living, breathing lead magnet. A lead magnet is something valuable you offer to new leads in advance that proves that you can help them by actually helping them. And there's a lot of value in having a living, breathing lead magnet. But how do you make money? Of course, it's not all about the money, but you want to do this to expand your impact and income. So that's the problem with free communities. The second one is you could do a paid community. It's really hard with a paid community because as soon as someone pays, now they're automatically a client. And what people don't realize is the conversion rate on your Skool community about page. That's what this is here. If it's a free community, there is an average conversion rate of 20%, whereas on a paid community, the conversion rate is only 4%, which means you're going to have to send significantly more traffic to a paid Skool to get yourself over that hump. And because only 1 to 3% of your audience is going to buy from you, it's important that you do the math in advance. So unless you're like, you have, I don't know, 1,000, 10,000 YouTube subscribers or over 20,000 at least on TikTok, I wouldn't even consider a straight up paid community. The third option is you could do a free to a paid community, meaning you've got a free to a paid or a free and paid. The issue with this is, first of all, you're managing 2 separate communities. Second of all, your most active members in your free community are typically those who are going to want to pay you to help them. And when they move from free to paid, your engagement and activity drops in your free community. So like if all of your good people from free are always ending up in paid, the free just dies. And now you've got 2 communities to manage, which is just annoying. And operational complexity is literally the death of the educational creator. We just can't afford to overcomplicate the business unnecessarily, which is why we get to Model 4, which is a freemium community. This is what I have. What this means is it's a free community on the front end, and then you're selling high ticket coaching on the back end. Now, as subscription tiers come out on Skool, you will have multiple opportunities and ways to monetize within one single community. I love freemium. It has made my life so much easier. I've had a free community, a paid community, a free and a paid community, a free to a paid. I've done all of them, and freemium is by far the best because I'm able to bring new people, new leads into the business. They're able to see what it would be like to work with me, the results that my paid clients are getting. There are certain resources in the classroom and the community that are unlocked, or calls that everybody can access, and then there are locked resources. So it creates this like natural FOMO, because they're able to see like, oh, look at all of these things in the classroom. I wonder what's inside of here. I want to be in those. And then additionally, you're getting you're collecting tons and tons of social proof all in one place. Because I don't know about you, I'll get wins from my clients. They'll post in the community. They'll message me on like TikTok or Instagram, maybe on WhatsApp if they're a one-on-one client. And I just find it really simple to have all of my wins in one place, which is it's really nice. And I have a free 4-day freemium Skool challenge that I have linked in this document. And I'll also link this document below the video so that you can check all of these things out, as well as a video that I made outlining my 20K freemium community strategy. So if you want to dive deeper into any of those, I've linked as many parts of this checklist as possible to additional resources, because I wanted to keep this document comprehensive but simple, and then give you options to dive deeper as you shall please. Now let's get into signing up for our Skool. So this is, full disclosure, my affiliate link. If you use this link, you can get 14 days free, whether it's for hobby or the pro plan. One more thing is you can always upgrade and downgrade. Whether you choose hobby or pro, you can always switch it later. The one thing you cannot change, let's go ahead and sign up for Skool. I'll just show you. So let's say we're going to do this one. Spiritual Biz Skool. I think I could just do that. Okay, my audience size. I guess I have between 10 and 100 across all my platforms. My main social profile. This is new. We didn't ask this before. Okay, so now we have our Skool community set up. Now, let's start going through our settings. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is pick a group name. I have been through so many names, and that's fine because you can actually always change your group name later. What I would recommend is make sure you include some kind of like SEO optimized keyword, because if people have to guess what your community is about, we want to take out as much of the guesswork as possible because confused minds don't buy. So I already have one called Spiritual Business School, but that's what I would say there. You can change your group name as many times as you want, but do not change your URL until you're sure that you want that to be your URL. And that was one of the reasons I chose skool.com/Amanda, because I had changed the group name so many times, and that was something that was going to stay the same no matter what. Next, we're going to, public or private. Let's go. Okay. So a private community is good. It means like that nobody can see what's inside of your community until they join. Mine is private, even though it's a free community on the front end. The benefits of having a public community are that every single post in your community, every page in your classroom, it starts showing up in Google search results. So if someone is searching for something specific on Google and your community has a lot of content about that thing, you can be discovered from Google, which how dope is that? And I go back and forth on which one of these I prefer, but for now I'm private. Our next step is going to be uploading our community icon. So it's recommended the pixels are 128 by 128. For this, I just use Canva. And Canva has tons of like really easy, you can just select the one that's for a logo. So let's say I want to make a logo. And I would just pick one of these. And you can just play around with the colors, play around with the words, obviously. You're also going to need a cover photo. So this is 1084 by 576. Did I say that right? Damn, it got hot in here. I had to take off that hoodie. Okay, so our next step is going to be setting up our group name, color, and initials. And I actually have this handy dandy cheat sheet to help you come up with the name of your community. So you want to pick, this would be, the tiers name would be like if you had a free and a paid community, but now that we have subscription tiers coming to Skool, like I talked about earlier, which I think should probably be out by the time this video comes out. You could have different levels and names of your tiers inside the community. Jackson, get out the fucking door. That's my dog. And so these are all just like real, you could pick something from a location, a self-identification one, communities like circle, society, alliance, squad, clan. Others could be like a mastermind, pro. I used to have, when I had a free and a paid community, I had Fire Boss Free, and Fire Your Boss Fast. Those are just some examples. And if you're still not sure, one of my favorite things to do, I do this all the time, is if you go into your, hold on, let me make sure. I wish I could open this in another tab. I know what I'm going to do. You can go to Discovery. So like if you're inside your Skool community, you just click this little drop down and you click Discover Communities, and you can just start typing keywords that are like in your niche and see what other people are doing. This is literally, I love doing this because I get so many good ideas. Like this guy, Mark Houghton. I know he's crushing it. Let's see what he's got going on. What you get inside, learn how to manifest lottery win. Do you see how many times he has the word manifest on his about page? And he has manifestation in his group name. That is helping him so much when it comes to showing up in search results. Abundance and prosperity coach. He has law of attraction, quantum mechanics, manifest. Do you see that? Manifest, 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 manifestation, manifest, abundance, prosperity. He's got all the buzzwords in all the important places. So you can do that. Now, our next step is going to be to write a compelling 150 character community description. This is not to be confused with your about page. These are two different things. So we're still in our community. We click settings, general. We've talked about our icon. our cover photo, our group name. This is our description. So I think mine was 3 times your leads in 30 days with design and school. Let me make school capital. And you should always have emojis. I use this cool little extension that does Joy Pixels. It's like a free Google extension to do your emojis. I'll keep mine private. Let me just show you how I would make, let's say this is weird. I don't know how I feel about this font, but I'm just trying to show you how it could work. So I'm going to download this handy dandy image. And then I can upload it here. Excellent. All right, look, now we have an image. Let's keep going. Choose your custom URL. Remember, this, you can only get a custom URL on a pro plan, and you can only change this URL one time. So I'm just saying that. With your community description, I would always start with your offer statement. What is the valuable outcome you have achieved or you help other people achieve? And then imagine that you're explaining it to a drunk grandma or a maybe moderately intelligent 3rd grader. If you can't do that, then you need to talk to ChatGPT until you can. So basically, I help this kind of person do this thing without this thing that they hate. So let's say I help spiritual entrepreneurs leverage their human design and Skool to 3 times their leads in 30 days without being a creepy used car salesman. I don't know if a drunk grandma could understand that, but that's just an example. Okay, now we want to move on to discussion categories, which will be here. I'm fairly certain. Oh, because I'm still on. They're actually here. So if I'm in settings, I click categories, boom. I gave you what my categories are, so you can just copy those, but I always want to have an emoji in them. So let's say, what are my categories? Community chat, wins, homework chat, questions. Another category you could have is request a training, but those are the key ones that I recommend. Yeah, I put them in here. So community discussion, wins, questions, request a training. All right, let's move on to our about page. This is incredibly important. Here's my about page, just for example, and I gave you a template in this step-by-step setup guide that you can literally just copy and paste. But before we even go on to the template, I just want to first, what I would do is, again, go through Discover Communities and look for communities that are in your niche, or they could even be in a completely different niche, and check out their about pages. What do you like about them? What's working? What colors are they using? What buzzwords are they using? What kind of images? What's the video? This guy, he's got 2 videos. Oh, this is that guy Elmer. He was a felon. I like him.
Do you know what the most important skill in 2025 is? It's actually attention and focus. Distraction is everywhere. And the people.
Okay. So there's so many different ways and styles to do your about page. But I would check out a few different ones and take note of the things you like, what sticks out to you, what do you like about them, what colors are they using, what kind of images are they using. And then once you've kind of figured that out, what's so cool about Skool about pages is you only have 1,000 characters. As far as about pages, like they've made the customization enough such that you can let people know who the community's for, what to expect, how their life will be better as a result of joining, but not so much information. This isn't ClickFunnels or Go High Level where you have this never ending funnel of upsells and downsells and buttons and, flashing things. That's not what we're doing here. They actually modeled this after Amazon checkout pages, and they studied exactly how many characters or how much information people actually need to make a decision of whether or not to click, join, or buy. And so Skool has some of the highest about page conversion rates in the industry. It's literally insane. So I don't want to hear anything about, oh, it's only 1,000 characters. If you can't get it across in that many letters, then we have other problems, okay? The core components of any successful Skool about page is, first of all, call out their identity. Who is this for? Spiritual entrepreneurs, millennial female spiritual entrepreneurs, Christian women in their 30s, stay-at-home moms, postpartum women, menopausal women. Like, I'm just giving you examples, but call out their identity using at least like 2 descriptors. So it could be gender, age, stage of life, passion, profession, hobby. Call out who you're talking to. Don't let them have to guess. Then you're going to list out like, what do they get inside the community? That's what we call features. You're going to get this thing, but we want to spend less time focusing on the features and more time focusing on the benefits of those features, which means how is their life better as a result of the things that are inside your community. And then we're going to finish it with a call to action. Join now. Okay, so you get these things. If this is for you, click the yellow join now button for instant access. That's as far as the copy is concerned. And I gave you this writing guide so that you can literally just copy and paste this into ChatGPT with some of your own notes or information, and it will write out your about page for you. That's as far as the copy is concerned. Next, we're going to create our cover image. So that's what this is. And the old way would be having a video sales letter on your Skool about page. What I find actually works better than that is it could be any training that you have, any YouTube video that you've made that is representative of your offer. It can really be that simple. It doesn't have to be this. It used to be so hard for me to make video sales letters, and I've made so many, and I've had VSLs on my about page before, but I find that having this freemium Skool community YouTube video works better. 2 of my clients just got their first paid. So simple. And then I have some client wins. And another thing you can do for the video on your about page, you want to make sure you have at least an image on the about page and your copy in here. It is really nice to have a video, but the video could literally be just you doing a video walkthrough of your community. Hey, this is Spiritual Business School. Here's the community tab where here's some of the wins my members are experiencing. Here is the classroom. These are all of the courses and resources and downloads that you get instant access to when you join right now. Here's the roadmap course. Just kind of like clicking through what they get inside your community. Here's the calendar. This is where we have our mastermind and coaching calls. That would be a great video you could have on your about page. Let's see who got this. Oh. Yeah, we will let her in. Why not? Okay, video, I put that there. Next, let's go on to membership questions. So now we are in the plugins area of general settings. Oh, okay, I can't turn this on. Cool. And I gave you my questions here. So I always like asking membership questions. The questions that I always want to ask personally are, number 1, what's your email address? Because we want to make sure that we get their email address, because now you can contact them forever. You can either get their email address and make the response type email address. What's your best email? And don't forget the emoji. But you could also get their phone number. What's your best phone number? But what I like to do, I always want to ask this question. What do you need the most help with? Or it could be like, what made you join Spiritual Business School? And I want to make this multiple choice so that the only options to the questions, creating content, that converts are going to be things that are related to my offer that I already have resources for. And I'll tell you why in a second. Setting up my Skool making offers. So now when someone joins my community, I'm able to see their answers to the membership questions. And let's say this person said they needed the most help with making offers. And I'll get into this more in a second when we get further down the list. But what I'm going to do is send them a custom or a personalized Loom video. God, if I can find it again. Where I'm welcoming them into the community and I'm like, hey, oh my gosh, Amanda, I'm so glad you're here. I see you need the most help with making offers. I have an entire resource library on exactly how to create a badass offer that converts, which I actually do. And I'm going to be like, it's inside of the 100K Business by Design. Look, I have this whole module library on creating offers, including these prompts. It's a series of like 13 prompts to make your offer. And so I could create a Loom video just like I'm using to record this YouTube video right now that has a screen record so they can see my screen. And I'm referencing their answer to the membership questions and guiding them to a resource that's available inside the classroom that answers that specific struggle, challenge, problem, thing that they want to get from this community. Make sense? Okay, let's just keep going down our plugins. Unlock chat at a level. I always want to do this because whenever you have a freemium community, you're going to get bots and fake people or spammers coming into your community who are going to try to message other members on the sly. And if you at least make them have to get to level 2 or level 3, it pretty much eliminates that because they're going to have to engage in the community and be an active member in order to get to level 2 or 3. And now you've solved that problem. So I always like to do that. Let's keep going. Unlock posting. I don't think I would change that. Auto DM new members. I do auto DM new members, and you just want it to be, they're going to know that it's an auto DM. Like they're just going to know because then the second they join, they receive this message and it's almost like too real to be true. So what I would suggest if you don't have a large audience and you're not getting a lot of membership requests a day, I would actually probably keep this off and then personally message every new person that joins. But it's a personal preference. So whatever you want to do. I always want to ask a question though. I don't want to keep the basic auto DM. I want to ask a question. So I would ask like, what's your human design? Is what I would say. Unlock chat, instant membership approval. Okay. Onboarding video. Yeah, you could keep that on. Links. Yes, I would turn links on. And the links that I would include, and I put a list here. So I would have a link for your Calendly link for them to book a call. I would include my Skool affiliate link. And then the third link could be either a link to one of your resources, maybe a course that you have inside the classroom, or it could be to your Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever your most active social profile is. I don't know that I love sending people off the platform once they're in school. Do you want to send them away to your social media? So I'll leave that up to you, but those are some options. And these two, I think, regardless, I would definitely include those two. And the way that you find your affiliate link is if you go to billing, view referrals. I would hit copy. Oh shit, how do I get back to my other one? Oh, here it goes. Settings, and then I'm in plugins still. See where it says links? So I click on links, add link. Launch your Skool. And maybe I'll just do a lightning bolt. I don't know. Boom. Then I could also include my Calendly link, or this is VimCal, but you get the picture. Include my Calendly link, or this is VimCal, but you get the picture. Add link. Book a free one-on-one biz strategy. But I like it to fit all on one line. So I'm going to say like one-on-one biz strategy sesh. Maybe I'll make it a money emoji. And now my links will show up over here. Okay. Now, one of the coolest things about Skool is the leaderboard and gamification. And I have a really cool prompt in here for you for that. So Skool incentivizes engagement, which means that every time someone posts in your community or someone else likes or comments on their post, they get points. The more points they have, the more things they can get that unlock for them. And when you click on leaderboard, you're able to see how many of your members are at different levels. Obviously none, because this is a new group. So, where did it go? There. If you click on leaderboard in your little settings gear, you can rename your levels something that's fun and related to whatever it is you do. And because I love you so much, I gave you this level naming prompt that you can plug into ChatGPT and it will name all of your levels for you. It's fantastic. So that's there for you. And then right here for point system and level up incentives, you want to make sure that you create some kind of introductory post. I gave you an example of my intro post so that you can just copy mine, but let people know, hey, here, welcome to the community. Here is all the things that are available to you essentially. And in my school specifically, I'd let them know in my intro post that when you get to level 2, which is so easy to get to, level 2 requires, you need to make a post introducing yourself and go comment on a couple other people's posts. You'll get to level 2 and then it unlocks Find Your Online Persona with Human Design. So that's what I mean here by point system and level up incentive. So let them know, hey, there are these resources in here. They're not all unlocked right now, but you will notice that they do unlock for you as you engage in the community. And so just explicitly spell it out in your intro post. If you're not sure what I mean by that, you can just copy my example. Unlock classroom resources. I'll get into that more in a minute. Community. Okay, so now what's cool about Skool, that rhymes. So there's really only 3 things that you're doing in here. First of all, you have your about page. We've already discussed that. From there, you've got your community, classroom, and calendar, the 3 C's. You don't really have to do much with these right here. We've done the about page. So your community, what that means is what you need to do for your community when you just start is just create your introductory post. This means welcome to the community, show them around the platform, let them know what to expect, give them an easy way to introduce themselves. You can provide a template that they can copy and paste with their own answers. And that you could do that in a written form, like write it in your post, or you could do a video. I like to do both. And I gave you a template that I gave you both my own and a template that you can copy and paste. It's just basically like, welcome to this, do these things to get to this outcome, join this 5-day challenge to get this dream outcome. I'm a big fan of doing 5-day challenges, and I have a really specific way that I do them, and I teach my clients to do them. That has helped them bring in their first high ticket paid Skool members. Then you let them know, get to level 3 by making valuable comments and posts. And then you have the option of doing like weekly calls or bi-weekly calls to get your questions answered. Now let's talk about engaging your group. Like I said, I love doing custom Loom videos to every new member based on their answers to the membership questions. And I gave you a template for those videos here. So that means like when someone joins my community, I can go to their thing and I'll look at their answers to the questions. I'm like, hey, I see you need help. What you need the most help with is community desire and creating content that converts. And so I'll literally record a Loom video where I'm showing her where to find those resources inside the community. You can also point them to, you could share your link for them to book a one-on-one call with you. Also called an onboarding call. Very good. Next, we're on to Classroom. So we've talked about community. Classroom, this is where you're going to have all of your courses, downloads, workbooks. You do not need a course in order to launch your Skool community. In fact, I recommend against it. The vibe we're going for here is we're throwing a party, not a lecture. So you want to get people into your community and then co-create the course alongside with them, because I have made so many courses. And most of them never sold. Nobody ever cared, because it was like I was the Wizard of Oz going behind the velvet curtain, making this course that literally no one asked for, and then coming out and being like, hey, who wants to buy this course? Literally nobody. And so when you make a bunch of courses in advance before launching your Skool community, it's basically like you were inviting all your friends over to your house, and now you have a captive audience making them watch a 56-point PowerPoint presentation. Nobody wants to do that. What we want to do is create the vibe, the atmosphere, the culture, have the music, the drinks, the cool people around, maybe some games, different. We're setting the tone for the space as leaders. And then less is really more, because your members will let you know what they need help with, and then you can make a course in response to their questions and challenges and concerns. But if you are insisting on making a course, then the first course you absolutely should make is a Start Here course. It's a very simple 5-part video sales letter. I actually gave you 3 options for the first course that you could make in your Skool community. The first one, which is so simple, is you're going to create the Start Here course and include the lessons like the results. So you can either talk about the results you've got for yourself or the results you have for your clients. And then you can show them how to unlock access to the calls, which that could either be them booking a call with you or joining your paid offering. Yep, schedule a one-on-one call. The second option for the Start Here course would be to do a 5-part video sales letter. I gave you the outline for it here, but I have a series of prompts for this as well inside the 100K Business by Design course inside Spiritual Business School, because the way these are formatted is very specific. So video 1, we're going to give them our origin story. Who are we? And then videos 2 through 4, we're going to address the only objections people ever really have, which are internal doubts, external doubts, or circumstantial doubts. And then video 5 is you're presenting the offer, you're pitching it, and then you give them a link to join that offering. And so if you can figure out how to do yours from that, that's amazing. If you want more help with that, you can book a call with me below. If you want to unlock access to it, I'm just letting you know that I have that in there. Let me show you. Yeah. So I help you make the offer, and then I have all these prompts in here to create your 5-part video sales letter. But my new and most favorite Start Here course, or the first resource to add to your Skool, is doing a 5-day challenge. And it's a one-on-one challenge actually, and it's also formatted very specifically, but it's different from the video sales letter. And I created a custom GPT that's insane, that basically we take your offer that we created from the prompts that are inside the 100K Biz by Design, and the GPT maps out your entire challenge for you. Like the structure, the content, the homework, the slides, the everything. It's like a couple buttons. We would also want to create a course inside the classroom for your weekly call recordings. So I'll just show you, let's say this would be like mastermind calls, recordings. And I would probably, if these were private calls, what I would do is I would make this a private course so that everyone can see it. but they won't be able to access it unless you let them in, which you would do by going to your members list. And then if there were any members in here, I would be able to give them access to this course. So that's what I mean by that. Add free calls to the calendar. So here's my calendar. I actually don't do any free weekly calls. It really does depend on your human design and where you are in your business. If you want to do a weekly Q&A call, I don't think it's a bad idea. Maybe you want to do it bi-weekly, maybe monthly, but you definitely want to have paid calls on the calendar. And the way that you do that is you click this little plus button and it creates an event. And then what you're able to do is, I always make sure this is set to reoccurring. You name the call, you put the title in here, you choose when is this call happening, what time, how long is it. I always set it to recurring. And then you can choose, do you want this to be recorded or hosted on Skool? Do you want to use a Zoom link or Google Meet link? It's amazing now that we can host stuff on Skool because you don't have to go create a Zoom calendar link and then add it to here. It's just like literally one and done, which is amazing. But the way that you make sure that this is a locked call only for your paid clients is I say, who can attend this event? I say members in a course, and the course that they have to be a part of in order to come to this event is the Business by Design course, because this is my mastermind one-on-one client course. So I know if I've given them access to this course, they are a paid client, in which case they get access to all of the mastermind calls. And you always want to make sure this little checkbox is checked. Remind members by email one day before, so they get reminded by it. Pretty simple. So we have that. Then you want to invite your first 3 members. One of the biggest mistakes I see is you don't want to invite the people you already know who could benefit from what you do, because you might be like embarrassed, or I don't know. I honestly don't know. But the first few people I had in my community, and I've had, at least 5 or 6 communities at this point, were my mom and some of my best friends. You just don't want it to be a ghost town in there when you start inviting real people. So you might as well bring your people in as soon as possible. And then you want to DM each new member with a personalized welcome message. We already talked about that. Once we've launched, our next milestone would be to bring in your first 100 members. And the way that I would recommend doing that, what I did is go through all of the contacts that you have in your phone, your text, your emails, your followers, your network, and send them a personal invitation to join your community. Hey, I just launched my free community where I'm helping these kind of people do this thing. Would love to have you. Click here to join, and have a link there. Or maybe you don't even send them the link. You just let them know you have this community. If you'd like some more information, let me know and I'll send it to you. I'm not a big fan of just sending people links that they haven't asked for. So yeah, I would probably go with the latter option. Now that you've launched your community, our next step would be growing the community to get our first whole 100 members. So I created this 100K Business by Design AI, but essentially what I suggest to all of my clients and what I do myself is I create a weekly YouTube video, I break it up into short form content, and then everything has a CTA to join my Spiritual Business School community. And what the top school communities are doing right now, in fact, it's the simplest funnel imaginable. It literally goes YouTube to my freemium school community. That's simple. The ways that you can grow your community, you can grow it organically or with ads. If you're just starting out, I definitely recommend growing it organically first. You need to have an organic funnel that is converting at least 1 to 3% before you can put ad dollars behind it, to where you wouldn't just be like burning your money. You want to make sure that your funnel is already converting before you start putting ads behind it. I'm sure that makes sense to you. So you want to grow it organically. That I created this AI that does all of this for you. It literally will map out your 30 days of content in a single hour, to where all you have to do, it maps out the YouTube, the script, the title, the thumbnail, the description, the caption, the short form, everything. So it's all completely done. You don't even have to think about it. If you're interested in that, I did link you to a video that has a free template here if you want to see more about that. From there, you would create, as far as sales, we would want to create an in-demand high-ticket offer that based on what people want, based on conversations with our members, the questions that we're asking, the patterns that we're noticing, what are people struggling with. And I also linked you to another video on 9 ways to blow up your school with human design. This one's pretty baller if you're into human design and you want to dive into that a bit deeper and how that would work for you based on your human design. And then how you would sell is you would book sales calls. And the way that you book sales calls would be using your community, the community tab, the calendar, DMs, and your Calendly booking link. If you want more help with this, you're interested in joining the 100K Biz by Design Mastermind, how this would work for you, your human design, your offer, your niche, etc. You can book a one-on-one business strategy session with me here. And then I included links to videos for every human design aura type, as well as a custom GPT. This thing is so dope, and I'm giving it to you for free right now because I love you. It's my CEO Oracle by Design custom GPT, where it's going to ask you for your sun, moon, rising, and human design, and it will help you understand what kind of role you're here to play in your business, how you're here to help people, how you best show up and sell. And this is all based on your Kabbalistic astrology and something called your tikkun, which is a concept for a whole other video, but it'll explain it in that GPT for you. And that's all I got for you. So I hope this was helpful. What questions do you have for me based on what we covered today? Leave me a few comments down below. I love reading all of them, and I will make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.